It's a Battle of the Bay State Conference just west of the great city of Boston. As from Schluntz Gymnasium here at Brookline High School, it's the Brookline Warriors and the Newton North Tigers in a battle at the men's basketball varsity division. My name is Mason Stauff, alongside my broadcast partner this evening, Tommy Vitolo. And Tommy, when you get to this later stage in the season, it's February now. State championships are coming up around the corner. It's really important that you pick up these victories. And for Newton North, that missed a couple of games due to some teacher strikes, this is really, really important as they take on their local rival.
Well, and Newton has had to sort of shake off the cobwebs. They lost two close ones earlier in the last week, one to Natick, one to Needham. They're looking for a win.
They certainly are, and when we look at these two teams, they're both led by a couple of veterans. Now, it's a very young Brookline team, almost everybody returning, but Chris Solis, he is the lone senior, and even though it's not senior night, he knows he's getting closer and closer to the end of his Warrior career.
And he's the spotlight player of the day. We're going to keep a close eye on him. Expect him to explode to the basket. He can shoot the three. He's a great ball distributor, and he has no problem going straight to the rim.
And on the other side, Tegan Swint, he's just a junior, but averaging 20 points a game at the guard spot for this Newton North team that, as you said, is trying to bounce back after a couple of 2-point losses earlier in this week.
The other thing I want to point out is we've got a slight change-up on the Brookline starting lineup. Viola is going to start today instead of Haynes. Haynes has started the last couple of games. Hasn't played poorly. I don't know what the coach saw in practice, but he's mixing it up a little bit.
Brookline Warriors as they look to bounce back after a difficult game against Bishop Fenwick on Wednesday. So all in all, an outstanding night of basketball on tap for us here from Brookline.
Where would you rather be than Brookline Village, right here at Schluntz Gym?
Trying to get here through traffic on a Friday is not the most pleasant, but now that we are here, the fans are out in numbers, and it will only continue to grow as individuals get out of work and come here to cheer on either their Warriors or their Tigers. We are just about set to get this one underway. We will do so in just a moment. We will introduce you to the starting lineups and get the opening tip-off in just a moment. Starting lineups being announced, national anthem to come, and then it's basketball time here from Schluntz Gymnasium here on a Friday night from Brookline. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Last summer, Big offered sportscasting camp to middle and high school students. Here, kids learned the fundamentals of sportscasting, like using professional video equipment, directing, live switching, and commentating. We are excited to have it return this summer and to soon welcome more students year-round.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
And we welcome you back as our public address announcer, the former Brookline head coach, announces the starting lineups. Had a chance to talk to him on Wednesday after the girls' game. As starting lineups, it's Viola, Golden, Solis, Thompson, and Shi. Tommy mentioned just a moment ago that Caleb Haynes not getting the start tonight, so Aaron Viola, the junior guard, in his place. As you see this Brookline rotation, slick jerseys, white, red numbers and letters with blue trim surrounding them. Newton North just behind them in tiger black and orange. National anthem, an opening tip to come. Starting lineup for Newton North, as you see the Brookline huddle. Jake Lyons, the true freshman, in the starting lineup, along with the senior Dylan Taylor and Luke Washik, a sophomore, in the backcourt. Tegan Swint, our player to watch, completes the four-guard rotation with Gerard Reeves, the big man inside wearing number 34, though everyone is going to be staring up at the large size of Alan Shi, the junior forward/center, who we saw a couple weeks back when this team took on Braintree, averaging about 19 points, 8 rebounds, and a trio of blocks per game. As you see that Brookline lineup once again, it is Golan, Viola into the lineup, along with Thompson in the three-man backcourt, Solis, our player to watch, and the big man Shi in the center. And Newton North, as we mentioned, Lyons, Taylor, Swint, Washik, and Reeves. Brookline in the home whites, trimmed in red and blue, American flag. Going left to right, and it is a long tip and corralled by Viola. Meanwhile, Newton North in the road black uniforms, Tigers emblazoned across the back with orange numbers emblazoned in white. Man-to-man defense to start for this Newton North squad. Solis out there on the left-hand side, goes dribble drive, gets to the paint, then kicks out for a deep two, I believe. Either way, doesn't go down. Offensive rebound, though, corralled by the Warriors, and they'll get a second effort.
She's got to be careful on over-the-back calls.
Solis goes to his left hand and scores off the plexiglass as she set the screen, and Solis gets an early 2-0 start to his squad.
Brookline in the man-and-man, as is typical.
Yeah, both teams starting in man. Nice spin move, went right at Solis, but then Taylor had to kick to the corner. Now it's in the other corner, and the triple knocked down by Newton North, and a good start by Tegan Swint.
Excellent ability to move the ball on Newton. He worked it inside and outside, found pay dirt.
You see Swint's length. He's a guard, but he has the length and will play as the four on a lot of these possessions, as losing his dribble up top was Viola, then got it back on the dish. Cannot finish the layup, however, and now Newton North looks to counter quickly. Thrown into the paint, good hang, and Swint's got an early 5.
Brookline did a nice job getting back in the paint, but Newton came too quickly for them.
Swint, a junior. Again, both teams with just one senior in their lineup. Brookline only has one senior on the entire roster.
There was a nice move by Thompson, didn't get the call.
3, and Swint has lit up these Warriors for 8 straight on as many as just 3 possessions. 8-2 lead for the Tigers. The only other senior on Newton North's roster is John Washik, the older brother of sophomore Luke in the starting lineup, as Solis hangs but cannot get it to finish off the heel. Swint looking for it, now gets it on the handoff. Solis comes out to contest. That's a long 2, and the first miss of the day for Tegan Swint is hauled in by Barry Golden.
If you're feeling it, you fire it, but I question that shot this early in the game.
Golden with those yellow shoes. I wouldn't call them gold, but they certainly match the last name. She spins. That is a difficult shot. And then there's a foul called by the baseline official, and I think they're going to get She. No, actually they did not get it on She. They got it on Viola. Both players went for it. She certainly bumped into him as he tried to get after his own offensive rebound. First team foul of the game. Taylor through the legs, steps back, 3 on the way, front rims. Takes a long carom, second effort, looking for their second 3 from that exact spot. But it's a third chance effort. Swint gets his own rebound, and on the 4th opportunity, they cash in, and Tegan Swint has all 10 for the Tigers.
I'll tell you, Brookline's got to corral that ball. She missed a rebound early. They couldn't corral it later. They've got to retain that possession.
Newton North has struggled to hit 40 points. Their other 2 games this week, they have 10, and we're not even midway through the first quarter. That is a difficult finish, but it goes down by Aaron Viola. Outside, but finishes off the window. Lyons gets it to Swint, who looks for more. Wild shot, but another offensive rebound. They are really racking up the second chance points. Swint looking for more. Finally down with Solis, who had the first 2, but nothing since. Golden. And that's going to be a travel.
We're seeing with Brookline on defense that Shi has really slid off his man and tried to help down in the middle, but with the substitution and Gerard Reeves coming in, a bigger player, it'll be interesting to see if Shi stays with him or helps in the middle.
So it looks like they started Tambasha and bring in Reeves off the bench, despite what they indicated on their lineup card. So Reeves watches that one sail over his head out of bounds.
And that's what I'm talking about. Shi followed him up tight instead of keeping a body on him. Had that pass connected, it's an easy layup, and Shi's out of defensive position. It worked out to his favor this time, though.
It's the second time we've seen this Brookline team. Saw them a couple weeks ago mentioned against Braintree, and Shi had a tendency to get sucked away from the basket on both ends of the floor. That time catches, goes up strong, gets fouled, and will head to the line for 2.
And he is a solid free throw shooter for a man his size.
First foul against the Tigers, credited to Reeves. And as Tommy says, he's a good free throw shooter. Does not connect on the first. They switch out the guards on that left-hand side, do the Warriors, and quick sub. Second one on the way, and Shi splits the pair. An early double up for Newton North, 10-5, 3:10 to play opening quarter here on this ASPN HD Live production in partnership with the Brookline Interactive Group are big. Swift, Shi way away from the basket, trying to D up on him. Forced him to give up the basketball, still looking for another Tiger to score. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Tigers. They get inside, going up against the trees, and it's a block. I believe that Golden might have gotten a hand to it. Either way, pass back, and looking for it was Haynes briefly, but then decided to go inside instead and scores. 5 straight for the Warriors.
Look for Newton to set screens for Swint and try to get an advantageous matchup.
It's Reeves, marked by Shi, and Shi tries to go and save the basketball. Well, he has no problem trying to D up a center outside of the perimeter. You probably don't need to D up that close. I don't think Reeves is going to take a lot of threes. If he does, well, then you change your approach. You can see Shi is willing to guard him 5 feet beyond the three-point line. You risk those reach-in calls. Instead, Shi alters that shot as he stays home. And Brookline has D'd up a little bit more over these last 2 to 3 minutes.
Staying home, fighting through switches.
Haynes, left-hand side. Shovel pass Solis. Solis loses his footing, went up into the air and had no idea what to do with it. Got lucky in that it went off of a Tiger and will stay with Brookline.
I think Solis found himself in the air a little farther outside the rim than he had intended.
Seen that happen a couple times.
Did well to maintain possession.
Solis to Shi. Knows he has a size matchup. Kicks back out to his senior. Solis, too strong. And Newton North looks to counter quickly. A little bit of a bobble there, and that is very close to midcourt, and they're going to say he stepped on the sideline as he got trapped in the coffin corner between midcourt and that sideline. Couldn't go back over for the backcourt. So
it's great heads-up transition defense for Brookline to catch him sleeping like that. That's a mistake. Players are going to make it. Brookline made him pay for it.
Haynes walks it into the front court. Thompson makes his home in that deep left-hand corner as Shi catches off the pass from Golden, and he scores as he gets the friendly bounce off the rim. 7 straight now for Brookline after a 10-2 start for Newton North. Hanging in the air, but no finish by Jake Lyons the first year. Lyons gets it back. Hesitates. Nice dish and a good finish.
And
great pass initially, and it's finished by Tambasha.
And that's Shi stepping up to help on defense. Not able to stay home and take care of Tambasha. Tambasha finishes, made it look easy.
Danny Tambasha, senior, mentioned it is fairly small senior group. There are 5 on this roster for Newton North, but when you compare it to just the 1 for Brookline and Solis, it's a pretty big senior group. She got a hand to it, tried to tap it. Just about a 3-second difference between shot and game clock, so Newton North can take this all the way down for the most part toward the end of the first quarter. Leading it by 3, they have led throughout. Biggest lead is 8 as another 3 by Tegan Swint, who had the first 10 and now has 13 of the 15 for the Tigers.
Just hitting 10 seconds left in the quarter.
Solis tried to help out with the screen. Driving inside and scoring off the Mindo is Haynes. One last heave, good if it goes, and it's short.
I think Haynes was motivated to remind the coach he likes to start 2, and did a really nice job there.
Well, Haynes scores 4 quick ones toward the end of the first quarter, but it was the story of Tegan Swint as he scores 13 of Newton North's 15 points in the first quarter. And it is the Tigers with a 4-point lead heading into the second 8 minutes of play.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got great range, and what Newton's doing a nice job of is setting high screens to force that 3-point shot from an open position.
So Swint with 2 threes, 1 from the left-hand side, 1 from the right, as well as a nice drive and a couple of second chance opportunities. That was one of the other things I noticed, Tommy, was just how many offensive rebounds, despite you'd think was Shi, the big size advantage inside, he was getting sucked away, and it was allowing second, third, or even fourth chance opportunities for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Want to thank our sponsors for this outstanding broadcast, starting with Viking Sports. Had Jake Hibbert alongside me on Wednesday out of Viking Sports, and the Brookline Teen Center as well. Gary Frazier joined me for that Braintree and Brookline game a couple weeks back. And of course, the Brookline Interactive Group, our co-sponsor, along with ASBN HD Productions for this doubleheader broadcast. The varsity women to follow as we start this second quarter. Tommy Vitolo alongside me. My name is Mason Stout. We thank you for joining us on this Friday night. Nice, fairly mild Friday evening just west of the state capitol. Tambasha is fouled as she does not need to defend that far out there, and yet commits an unnecessary reach-in foul.
Yeah, that's his first. He could have been called for a few others earlier, managed to make sure the ref was looking the other way, but he needs to be careful if he's going to play these minutes.
You appreciate the aggressiveness, but you just don't need to defend the center out on the perimeter. Good ball movement, dribble penetration, swung kick outside. Good defensive play, though, by Brookline as they're keeping everybody in front. Hesitation, nearly a travel. Still 15 seconds. It's been a long 20 seconds. Shows you how much movement they've had. 3 on the way is way long, and Shi has the easiest rebound he'll have tonight.
Well, she did a nice job staying home.
They don't want to go inside if he stays there, so just got to be disciplined, keep his heels in the paint as best he can.
He forced a few kickouts.
No defensive 3 seconds. This isn't the NBA, so he can stay home. Coming up empty, though, were the Warriors on that trip. 1 minute gone, second quarter. Remains 15-11 Newton North. Shi again way outside. Solis back in there with him as everybody's switching. 3 is on the way, and it's cashed home. Jake Lyons buries one. Don't see a lot of first years at the high school level starting in the state of Massachusetts, but Lyons, the only freshman in the starting lineup for either side, gets the 3. Back-to-back bad misses by Brookline, and then the dribble penetration as Shi rejects it, but right to Lyons, And after the initial shot was blocked, Makai Holmes had the first attempt. He's another freshman. It's his fellow 9th grader who scores.
Well, she's doing a nice job blocking things down low, but Newton's ability from behind the arc is where they've been making their money today.
Another good drive. You can see Caleb Haynes, he has been aggressive off the dribble. Made a couple tough ones toward the tail end of the first quarter, and now we'll get 2 free throws after he drew contact there.
He's really followed the lead of Chris Solis. Chris Solis is really the slasher of the team, but Caleb Haynes is following along.
And I did misspeak. Haynes is also a 9th grader, so both teams with a really strong freshman presence leading their backcourt. Haynes on one side and Lyons on the other. Haynes has started for much of this season, started the last time we saw this Brookline team. But Viola started the game today, but Haynes has still played the bulk of the minutes, and he's earned them, as that's now 5 points, I should say, for Haynes off the bench. Catching the left side by Wardley. Lyons directs traffic. Spins, gets the screen from Tambasha. Still Lyons with the basketball. Wardley back to Tambasha midway through the shot clock. Lyons with the powder pink shoes. Wardley, look at the battle going on inside as Swift tries to post up. Swint got his shirt held, but corralled rebound by Shi, and another good defensive set for Brookline, but they still trail by 8, ties the largest lead of Newton North. They also had this at 10-2. Shi spins, good post move, did that from the free throw line, shows his length.
Got a shooter's roll, couple of points to go with his 5 rebounds.
But outstanding footwork for the big 6'10" player in the middle. That's going to be a foul whistled inside on Thompson. Not have been a lot of fouls. Just the second team foul on Brookline, only 1 against Newton North. Tried to force it in there, then Tambasha, Shi on the deck, and it's picked up by Viola back into the game. Thompson, hands off, Viola. Haynes slows it down and now sends his man to his left. Viola looking for a, could have been 7-6. I don't think Yao Ming would have had that. Swintz, that's a blocking foul. Cole Horowitz tried to get into good guarding position, but slid in there late. And Swint, who has 15, or had 13 of the 15, so this will be potential 15 if he makes them both. Does not get the friendly bounce. You're not supposed to get those on the road, and doesn't.
Solis coming in for Seth Thompson.
Coach Johnny Williams trying to see his team ramp it up on the defensive end, particularly on the glass, which is where Newton North, between that and their 3-point shooting, has built their 7-point lead. Viola behind his back. Lyons might have gotten a hand in there, forces the turnover, and a great outlet, and there's Swint again. But that's all made up by a good defensive play and then an outstanding pass from Tambasha.
Newton has done well on transition, creating them and executing.
Biggest lead of the contest is now 9. Haynes, wild, Viola lost it as well, and he walked.
I think Brookline needs to settle down and think about Solis as a floor leader and Alan Shi down in the low blocks. They need to get back to what they're good at.
When they played Braintree a couple of weeks ago, Solis was their only true offensive option, as Shi was largely kept quiet by his own lofty standards. Chance to make this a double-digit lead First time into the basketball game, Jonathan Bennett, the tall, lanky senior, with those fluorescent shoes, as this one's going to bounce right to us. And we're going to have a foul.
And, you know, she created that scenario by guarding so far out. He got beat at the three-point line and couldn't recover.
At the line, Dylan Taylor, the senior, makes this a 10-point Newton North lead with the second half of the pair to come.
Fouled by Cole Horowitz, his second.
And pure from the line. 25-14. Newton North led this game 10-2. Brookline came back to make it a one-point game with a 7-0 run. But as that one is well long, since it was 10-9, it's a 15-5 extended Newton North run, as a foul away from the basketball will go against Newton North and keep it here.
That was a nice job by Brookline to move the ball around. Akito Ono is on the court as well.
Backup point guard. Solis, strong to the rim. A little bit wild on the shot attempt, though, and tracked down by Taylor on the defensive boards. Taylor using his body to shield the basketball. And it's a 13-point lead for the Tigers. Senior play.
Newton North may pull away for good if Brookline can't solve a few riddles.
2.5 minutes for Brookline to try and at least pull a little closer. One on everyone. And Caleb Haynes, not a single pass on that end of the floor, still gets 2 points. The feed-in pass unable to be handled by Bennett. And coming up with the loose one is Golden. Like to see a little bit more ball movement, though, as Solis. Nice kick, swung around, three on the way. Yes, Barry Golden.
And that's a quick 5-point run for Brookline.
So now down by 8 after it was 13 just 2 possessions ago. Coach Williams looking for the push-off, doesn't get it. That one swung through, not sure how it hit the defender. Haynes is down, has to get back into the play, cannot in time, and it's an easy layup inside by Nick Spinelli.
Tough to defend 4-on-5.
Haynes was very aggressive going for the steal and paid for it. Back to a 10-point lead inside the final 90 seconds of a fast-moving first 16 minutes. Hanging and finding Shi, and that's going to be a foul as Golden tumbles down. Be the third team foul, so still long away from the bonus. They get that on Bennett.
As Brookline gets more aggressive, they may be rewarded.
Shi, speaking of aggressive, goes up, and that should be a jump ball. It is. Possession arrow favors the Warriors. Not sure where Shi is going.
Taking the long view. We're going to see some subs, I think.
And that's
Thompson.
a little bit cruel, as now she just had to walk back to where he was going in the first place.
Thompson checking in for Shi for Brookline.
You see the Newton North bench. Has to be very pleased there, head coach.
Solis shot is called off.
So 2 fouls in 2 seconds on this possession. Minute 9 left as the foul's on Taylor. Just his first, as neither team dealing with a player with more than a pair. Quick trigger, 3 on the way. Could have used that one, but the offensive rebound almost for Ono, but then kicked it off of his own feet out of bounds.
Could not corral it. Minute 2 left, both teams with 4 team fouls. Next foul puts each in the bonus.
So an opportunity for Newton North to play 2 for 1 in these final 62 seconds. Lions back in. The 2 number 1s match up. Ono, the junior, against Lyons, the freshman. Ono nearly got the steal, but here we go 4-on-5 again, and Lyons switches right to left hand. Smooth play by the first year. Kid's got some skills.
As a young'un, no less.
Final 30 seconds. Solis bodied, and they're going to call a reach-in foul against Lyons.
Well, again, this is Solis making things happen with his ball skills and his aggressiveness. Strong young man, able to make things happen. He's on the line for 2 in the bonus.
But still, after a first quarter that was all Tegan Swint, 13 of Newton North's 15. Swint has been a lesser factor in this second quarter, has had an opportunity to be on the bench a little bit and catch his breaks, and Jake Lyons, along with a number of other players, just chipping in as necessary to build what was already a handy lead, now up to 11, and they lost somebody in transition. Should have been a travel. Instead, it's a defensive rebound, but only briefly, as Haynes landed with his toes on the baseline, and the shot clock will be off for Swint and the Tigers. They bring in some size in Gerard Reeves, and Shi is the immediate answer from Coach Williams. Swint to trigger, goes out deep, looking for the quick play, and a good read and pick off by Haynes. Shi catches and scores.
She appeared to be fouled on the play, no call.
I would agree. 4 seconds for Lyons to work. Through the legs, pulls up. Shi blocks the shot, and the three-quarter court heave is closer than a lot of us would get, but still finishes just a tad short. And it's 31-22 at the halftime break in favor of the visitors, who got up by as many as a dozen, but through Solis's aggressiveness and some timely play by Haynes, they're able to close the gap back inside double digits, and it is a 9-point edge for Newton North at the break.
Brookline doing a nice job at the end to chip away, keep that game within grasp.
So as the cheerleaders take to the floor, a very quick first half. We'll also see the women start to get warmed up and ready, as they will follow up here as well at 6:15, the scheduled tip time there. We will take a pause. When we come back in just a little bit, we'll have some first half stats. We'll have Tommy and my reaction, and we'll get you ready for second half action here at Schluntz Gymnasium. It's 31-22 Newton North over Brookline. We'll be right back.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Big also offers youth programs. We partner with Arts to Work, a national workforce development plan to mentor high school students through making their own short documentaries.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we welcome you back to Schluntz Gymnasium here at Brookline High School as it is halftime between Brookline and the visiting Newton North Tigers. 31-22 Tigers at the halftime break. You see some 7th graders, including the much better looking Vitolo behind me on the court.
Indeed, Felice Vitolo, number 14, plodding up the court, playing for Pierce.
That's exactly what I would be doing, except it wouldn't be plotting, it would be falling and plopping. But we welcome you back here, and after a really entertaining first 16 minutes, we saw Tegan Swint really carry things in that first quarter for Newton North. Solis, along with Haynes, trying to bring them back in, but it's going to have to happen on the glass as well as a little bit more ball movement, I would imagine, on the offensive end for Brookline.
Yeah, I like to think it starts with the defense. I feel like Brookline wasn't able to stay with players on the screens, and we saw them kind of fall apart. Too many easy shots, too many shots in transition. If Brookline can figure out how to stay home on defense, get the rebounds, and then let their slashers do their thing, they'll have a much better chance at the second half.
We certainly talked about Alan Shi. He's such an outstanding defensive presence, but he has a tendency to get pulled out to the perimeter, and that allows either a reach-in foul sometimes or somebody to sneak in behind. There were also a lot of overplays where they went for the steal, and it led to a 4-on-5, and that's not going to be a recipe for success. As we look at the stats from that first half, and Shi and Haynes both leading the way with 7 for Brookline, but everyone chasing Swint's 16, including 13 of the first 15 that his team scored. You see Brookline 7-7 for Haynes and Shi. Shi leading the way with 5 rebounds, but Solis, the only other player that has really a rebound tally tonight for the Warriors, and then Haynes with 2 assists. But there was a lot of stagnant offense, and it does start with the defense. It always does, particularly at this high school level.
That's right. And you can see sometimes teams not having a lot of assists because they're getting offensive rebounds, they're getting it on hustle plays, but you don't see that here. Brookline's not doing a good enough job moving the ball around and making plays happen.
Meanwhile, for Newton North, again, we mentioned Tegan Swint, 16 points. The Lions, the 7, the first year, doing most of his damage in that second quarter with Lyons and Taylor also the team's leading rebounder. You don't see a lot of first-year point guards with 7 points, 6 boards, and an assist through the first 16 minutes. That's Lions' tally, and you see Taylor, the senior, taking care of business on both the glass and in the assist column as well. So more of the same, you'd
The freshman
imagine.
on the pace for a double-double, but you know, he didn't take over the game. He didn't do it in an explosive way. He picked his spots. He was successful here and there, and he cobbled together a heck of a first half for a freshman.
And it just felt like Newton North. They didn't need Tegan Swint to lead them the entire 16 minutes. They were able to share the basketball. How many open looks inside did they get by sharing it? And then those second chance, third chance, or there was even a fourth chance for Tegan Swint as well, really helping them rack up the points, take as much as a 12-point lead, but now down to 9. So we will head to another break here, and when we come back, we will, first we want to thank our sponsors, Viking Sports, the Brookline Teen Center, and of course, the Brookline Interactive Group, Big. Everyone has their I Heart Big shirts on throughout our crew this evening, our outstanding ASPN HD production crew. So still have about 4 minutes or so before we get this second half underway. We'll take a brief pause, get back behind the desk, and by the time we do so, because again, plotting to say the least, we'll be ready for second half action between Newton North and Brookline. You're watching an ASPN HD production in association with the Brookline Interactive Group on a Friday night in Brookline. Don't go anywhere.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. One in 3 adults has prediabetes, and you could be one of them. There are usually no signs for prediabetes, so it's important to understand your risk. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
And we welcome you back once again, Schluntz Gymnasium, as the sun has set outside, but we are still early in our coverage tonight. A Brookline High School doubleheader as the men at halftime trailing Newton North 31-22. It is senior day for the women's varsity to follow. 6:15 scheduled tip time. So we thank you for joining us live here on this ASPN HD production in partnership with the Brookline Interactive Group. My name is Mason Stelf, Tommy Vitolo alongside me this evening, and a strong start for Newton North. Got up by as many as 12 toward the tail end of that first half. The lead is 9 as we enter the final 16 minutes. Paul Connolly still in the huddle with his team. Over 400 wins in charge of this Newton North team, trying to best the local rival in Johnny Williams, who's been at his helm for just as long.
Both teams going back to their starting lineups to start the second half.
Lions will get the inbounds pass. We switch directions. Newton North, road blacks, orange numbers trimmed in white with tigers in white emblazoned across the upper back. Traveling left to right as you view it here on ESPN HD. Kick to that right-hand corner. Lions, 7 points, 6 rebounds in that first half. Turns the basketball over here. And Haynes starts the second half and gets right back to work. Viola in this starting lineup as well to start the second 16, along with Thompson, Solis, and Shi. No Barry Golden to start the second half. He'll come off the bench for Coach Williams, but the lead down to 7, and a foul is going to get whistled. It'll be Thompson's second personal.
And that's Brookline with aggressive defense. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes you get yourself in trouble.
Shi a mile from the basket and couldn't recover as a nice scripted inbounds play finds a wide open Dylan Taylor, who then pivots past a defender and kisses it off the window. They go iso ball. Now Shi comes to set the screen. It's a faux screen. Shi, wide shot, almost went down, and somehow, as a good play by Viola to save the possession, but fun matchup between Danny Tambasha and Alan Shi. Obviously the size difference is very evident, but Tambasha's done a good job. Haynes looking for Shi, does feed it to his right hand. They go clear out. Swung around to Thompson, into Solis. Solis using his strength and physicality, and they get Taylor for what would be a foul. I believe that's number 2 on Dylan.
As is often the case, Taylor unsure that he really committed that foul.
Welcome to basketball in 2024. I can assure you that if you ask these players, none of them have ever committed a foul, ever.
Solis, first shot rings true.
And gets them both. We've seen plenty of split pairs tonight. Golden made 2 earlier on one trip. Back to a 7-point game, and Shi, that is a foul. Went up, used the body, but then once those arms come down, it's an automatic foul.
And it's a good foul for Shi. He's not in foul trouble. He's managed to stay away. He's only got 2 now, and he prevented an easy layup. It's probably a smart foul for him.
Both teams kept out of foul trouble through the first 16 minutes. Nobody has 3 yet for either team as Tambasha misses off the back rim. Again, the biggest lead was 12, but Brookline has been in that bend, don't break mentality for much of this game.
Opportunity to cut it down to 5 or even 4-point lead.
Haynes puts it on the deck, switches to his left hand, looking for Shi, doesn't have him. Thompson thought about it, but a little bit of a fumble on the catch prevents the 3-point shot. Still plenty of time, 16 on the timer. Thompson, Solis, almost a travel. That's a foul though, and that will be the 3rd on Taylor.
Be interesting to see if Coach swings things around or leaves Taylor in with 3 fouls early in the 3rd quarter. Now I think he's going to come out likely replaced by Holmes.
Makai Holmes, the freshman that most often comes off the bench for Newton North, checks in, replacing the senior. Holmes a little bit taller, but doesn't quite have that muscle on him yet that the senior does. But it is a 5-point game, closest it has been since the tail end of the first quarter. Tambasha, as some full court pressure being applied. Nice swing as Tambasha gets it a swint. Wardley, good feed, and again, Shi a little bit lost, and somebody snuck behind him for an easy finish.
Well, you know, it's tough. You run that full court press, even if you're able to stay in possession as the ball comes up, managing to force Newton to reset was something Brookline was unable to do.
Haynes with a mid-range J. That's a 2-point bucket. Back to 5 again. First player in double figures, as that one Not sure if it was blocked by Shi or just the underside of the rim, but a chance to pull this within one possession for the first time in well over a quarter. Haynes gets a little bit of ISO. Matched up with Holmes, freshman versus freshman. Thompson goes into the body of Lyons. Kick out, Solis takes it and scores it. And this crowd, which has continued to filter in on a Friday evening, has seen their team claw back. They've made up 9 points of the 12-point deficit. It's down to 3. Lyons, nifty kick, swung around Holmes. Tembasha, Lyons going baseline to baseline.
Newton's still looking a bit lost, though.
And Tegan Swint, who had 13 of his team's first 15 in the first quarter, has only scored 3 since. Solis and Haynes in double figures. Shi with the block and the slam!
I'll tell you, we picked on Shi for that aggressive defense, particularly out by the three-point line. He just dunked that one in our face, Mason.
He certainly did. You're gonna gamble, sometimes you're gonna hit. And Shi absolutely found pay dirt that time and then shows his athleticism. Approaching a double-double himself at 9 and 7. Timeout called by Paul Connolly.
That may have been an injury timeout. It looked like there was a Newton player on the deck.
I think Lyons was just down, not sure if it was due to injury or just the fact that he was a little bit embarrassed that a 7-footer just picked his pocket and slammed on the other end. Either way, this was 31-22 at halftime, and since then, the run is 12-4 in favor of Brookline.
And as we talked about at half, you know, it wasn't that Brookline did anything in particular. They settled down on defense, fought through the picks, and frankly controlled the ball on offense.
Not turning the basketball over, and Tegan Swint, courtesy of some lockdown man-to-man D, they have really stuck Solis on him. And even though Solis continues to lead the offense, it's his work on the defensive end that has allowed his team, as you see him face guarding Tegan Swint, who has had nothing to do in this third quarter but try and fight through Solis.
Now, Solis has been face guarding with arms on both sides of him. I wonder that if he's going to get called on that at some point this game.
And I believe, no, they're going to get a little reach-in check out top on Viola. But I'm with you. That was very close. And you can see that Coach Connolly is telling that to the trailing official down on that baseline.
Viola's got 2. 4 minutes remain in the third quarter.
Tembasha did all the hard work, got to the rim, and was too strong with it.
Brookline with a chance to take the lead.
To Thompson. Haynes resets the offense with a chance, as Tommy said, to take the lead for the first time today. Haynes, crossover dribble. Finds Solis, goes right into the double team. Thompson thought about it, faked it. Viola somehow got the crossover dribble, and the Brookline Warriors have the lead.
Viola did well to gather a loose ball and made it look like he meant it all along.
Lyons and Viola jockeying at the point guard spot. Tembasha goes right into the body of Shi. Coach Connolly calling the play, looking for a foul, and now he gets it. And we will see who it is. Is it Solis or is it Shi? It's Shi. And that is 3 on Alan Shi. And he's going to have to come out.
We'll see if that's
they're
what
going
Coach
to take
thinks.
Viola out. So Golden comes in. So the golden shoes of Viola are replaced by the yellow shoes of Golden. Swint to trigger out of bounds. That is the 4th team foul with still 3 and change to go as Swint goes right at Shi and sees his shot hit into the ground.
I'll tell you, that's one of those where good for Newton for going right at Shi. See if they can get him to pick up his 4th.
And there was lower body contact. They would have been able to call a foul on that. I think it's the right no call, but I've seen that whistled by the lower body contact. But Shi, going out there like an outside hitter in volleyball, spikes it to the hardwood. Swint against Solis. That has been a matchup that Solis has won these last 2 quarters. Hanging in the air, wild shot, offensive rebound. They reset the shot clock. I don't know if it hit iron. It doesn't matter as that one caroms out of bounds, and it will stay with Newton North, much to the chagrin of the Brookline faithful.
A lot of fans closer to the action than we are on the other end of the court, unsure about that call.
So Shi is going to take a break with those 3 fouls. They're going to see if they can get the freshman Horowitz to give them these last 2:54 of the third. Horowitz with those bright orange-red shoes loses his man and almost gave up a wide-open layup, but good recovery to at least impact the shot. Solis, Thompson, wide open, no.
Thompson's been wanting to shoot all day.
Rebound, Swint. Swint trying to shield the basketball, goes to his left hand and scores plus the foul. Tegan Swint has been shut out in this third quarter and says, enough of this, I'm taking it myself.
And he didn't just take it, he took it right to Horowitz, knowing that he could get Horowitz turned around.
And Horowitz could not give them that 2:54. He gives them 18 seconds before he heads to the bench with 3 personals. So they will go small. Viola will check back in, so it'll be Viola, Golden, Haynes, Solis, and Thompson.
If I'm Brookline, I try to slow this down a little bit. Conversely, Newton should keep the ball moving.
Old-fashioned three-point play, unsuccessful. 37-36 Newton North in a game we expected to be close. Wasn't for a while, but now this is much more the game we anticipated. Haynes, Viola, lost it and turns it over. Full court press as everybody matches up man. We'll see if they can sneak someone deep. And they do. Touchdown play. And the score. You could see that one coming from a mile away. I don't think I'm the brightest guy, but I saw that one.
No valve, no outlet.
Got to have somebody back deep to prevent that Hail Mary. Haynes took it deep to the cup, but then got rejected by it. Swint goes right into the body, draws contact, doesn't get a foul, but doesn't need one. 2 more for Tegan Swint, and now Coach Connolly continues to bark at the officials in front of him, but it's back to a 5-point edge for Newton North. They've responded with 6 straight. Swint with a 20-piece, offensive rebound, missed. Viola, no. Ripped away by Dylan Taylor, playing with the 3 fouls. Lyons stops, kicks, the pop, no. Off the front rim, bounces around, finally finds Viola's hand, 75 seconds to play in the quarter.
Brookline really playing with tension, unable to secure the ball, not settling into an offense.
Thompson, way out there on the right-hand wing. Still 20 seconds on the shot clock. We have not seen a shot clock get even close to an expiry tonight. 3 is off the mark from Golden. Rebound hauled in by Matthias Stam, who's come into the game, number 23. Swint, bang!
This is the Swint of the first quarter.
He had no points for the last half of the second quarter and the first half of the third. He now has 7 in the last 2 minutes. 2 difficult layups and a triple. And from 36-35 down to 44-36 up, they are back to where they've been for most of the night, which is up by 8. But Haynes can bring it back with 2 more at the line. Home court bounce given by Schluntz Gymnasium.
We've got Ono checking in for Seth Thompson.
Newton North will also go to their bench as well. Bring in Luke Washuk. Haynes cans them both. Shot clock is off. 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. back and forth game we have had, but large swings. It has not been close throughout. The runs have been fairly demonstrative. We saw the 12-4 run to start for Brookline. And after that, Newton North answers again. They lead it by 6.
I'll tell you, with Shi out, Brookline really struggled to find a rhythm on offense. And it's not because the offense runs through Shi, so I'm not sure if they just took a mental break or were rattled for a few minutes, or if there's more to Shi in the offense than we first saw.
I'm more worried about the defense and the fact that without his presence on the interior, we have seen Swint go right into the paint on these fast break efforts. Obviously, you don't blame Shi for not being in there when the Hail Mary was thrown for an open layup. But in transition, with no big man in the middle, they have gone right into the heart of the defense and either drawn fouls or gotten layups off the window to turn a 36-35 deficit into a 44-38 lead in just 3 minutes.
And really all day, nearly all the points coming off of free throws, layups, and three-pointers. Not a lot of jump shooting, not a lot of shooting from inside the arc. We're seeing high percentage shots and open threes that have gone in at a pretty decent clip.
Hey, those are the 3 true outcomes of basketball in 2024. Layup / dunk, three-pointer, free throw. The mid-range game has largely been left by the wayside, much to my old-fashioned heart's chagrin. I love the mid-range game. I still think it has a place in today's basketball, just not in this game.
That's the second or third time that Newton has connected on a 40-foot pass under the rim, and I'm not sure what the Brookline defense is not seeing, why they're not able to defend.
They are so heavily face guarding that they're really not able to help off of their players, and that allows them to dip that ball over the top without somebody on the weak side coming to just intercept that. That's a safety's dream. Just come over the top and pick it off, but not happening as Taylor nails that one. He continues to do senior things. 10 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. 12 seconds to go in the quarter. Brookline with the final shot. Viola nearly lost it. Throws it up there. Solis still has 4 seconds, plenty of time, and that's good patient offense as Viola scores it, and that'll bring us to the end of the 3.
Brookline did a nice job at the end there to use the full 12 seconds. Sometimes players will interpret 12 seconds as 4 seconds.
That's true.
Really rush it, but Brookline fumbled the ball for a second, but then collected and brought it straight to the rim for the layup. I'll tell you, I'm a little surprised to see a 6-point lead. For a while, it looked like Newton was going to run away, and then all of a sudden I looked up, Brookline was winning, and now we're in this sort of tweener space, 6 points. Certainly a lead that Brookline could cut into and overcome in the fourth quarter, but you know, Newton's really been winning all game.
So after 3, it is 46-40 Newton North. Take this opportunity once again to thank our outstanding sponsors, starting with Viking Sports.
Now, Viking has great camps parents should be looking at for all summer long.
Yeah, you heard that if you watched the game the other night with Jake Hibbert. That's the Brookline Teen Center. Gary Frazier, as I mentioned, was with me for the first time we had this Brookline team a couple weeks ago. And again, outstanding programs for the youth, and you see the Brookline Interactive Group. Everything for this outstanding Brookline community, supporting the youths, the teens, all the way up to the young adult population and beyond.
Mason, I'll tell you, there's a great show on Brookline Interactive Group. You might check it out. It's on Thursdays at 2:30. It's called TV on TV. You'll never guess who hosts it.
I'm going to assume it's you.
This guy right here to your left. That's right. Next week, our guest is Kathleen Scanlon, who's going to talk about Electrify Brookline and how folks can electrify their appliances, reduce emissions, and have a safer, more comfortable home.
Well, we know that Alan Shi being in the ball game is a potential electrification of this Brookline team. He's got to stay in the game, though. He has 3 fouls, picked up 2 in the third quarter, went out with about 2:50 to go. and saw the game entirely change in Newton North's favor as Haynes starts with the basketball, gets it to Shi, matched up with Tambasha. Shi turns. That is a difficult shot. Doesn't go down. Barely got above the rim. And look at the quick trigger the other way. And it goes down. The slap off the backboard was not enough to keep that one from falling, and a good finish by Nick Spinelli. He was the player that leaked out on the big transition press break earlier in the third quarter.
Not the start Brookline was hoping to have.
So a missed shot by Shi and a leak out for a transition bucket. Solis scores. He has done well tonight. He has still scored more than 10 or more. He's got to think about 14, 15 now. 11 officially, but he has had to work hard for all of them. They really haven't used him as the focal point of the offense like we expected them to do. Credit to Newton North for that. Backdoor cut. Lions, yes.
Brookline defense needs to be talking about that.
Coach Connolly begging his team to get into that 2-3 zone and keep the hands up. This is a new look for Newton North. We've seen mostly man-to-man. How does Brookline handle a zone? That's meant to suck off the paint and look for those threes on the wing. Shi, 18 feet from the bucket. That's a tough pass that Haynes corrals. 7 seconds on the timer. This 2-3 zone is working. 3 on the way, off. Good tip, but Solis gets it back, finds Shi, and he finishes through the netting.
That's a great look. That's a great assist for Solis.
So great defense for the entire shot clock, but an offensive rebound and a nifty assist from Solis brings us back to a 6-point ball game. But this has been the area where Newton North has excelled. The offensive end. More points for Nick Spinelli. He's got 5 in the period.
A little bit of frustration showing in the faces of the Brookline Warriors.
They just can't get the stops. Back to the 2-3 zone. And I like this timeout from Johnny Williams. His team has got to move the ball more against the zone, and they do not know what to do yet. So just the second timeout called by Coach Williams. He'll still have a couple more to use in these final 5:42 of regulation. But his team, which just 7 minutes of game action ago, led by 1, finds themselves down by 9 again.
And we'll see if we see a little cat and mouse between the coaches. Maybe Newton North comes out, doesn't show that 2-3 that first possession, keeps Brookline's head on a swivel.
You're watching an ASPN HD production in partnership with the Brookline Interactive Group. Mason Stelf, Tommy Vitolo, our outstanding ASPN HD crew, led by Arlen Showstack to my right. We will have the women's game to follow. There's no guarantees that this one ends in 5:42. But when this one ends, it'll be senior day for the women. They will take to the court, and we will bring that one to you as well right here on ASPN HD in partnership with Big.
And we've got a near packed house here at Schluntz Gymnasium down in Brookline Village, right here on Greeno Street. It was Friday night. Folks are out having a good time.
And they're just hoping that Brookline can mount a comeback and let them really let them hear it. But Newton turning out with some good fan numbers as well, and they have seen their team lead outside of just one single switch. It was 36-35 in favor of Brookline. Since then, it's an 18-8 run to restore a 9-point lead, and that has been the story tonight, is that Newton North has been able to put together these 8 10-point runs to keep their lead where it is or restore it the one time it went away. Haynes controlling the basketball at the point, back to a man-to-man D. Interesting that they went away from the 2-3 zone, Newton North. Solis right into the chest. Good block on the weak side defender. Shot clock did reset. I don't know why. It shouldn't have. There was no clear change of possession, and it didn't hit the rim. Brookline gets a break. Shi spins in, nearly a travel. I don't know how it wasn't, and then nearly committed his 4th foul. Lions in transition, kicks to the corner. You could tell that Spinelli wanted it, instead gives it up, and that one's way left by Swint. Offensive rebound, Tambasha, and Spinelli resets.
I think Swint thought that would be an open look, and the defense closed in.
4:45, still plenty of time to go in this one, but stops paramount for Brookline. Lyons matched up with Thompson at the point. That's a gorgeous offensive play, and they're going to get body contact on Solis. Well, he can't draw one up better than that. Just the switch at the point and then the dip over the top down low. How many passes have we seen where it's just over the top of that last defender into the paint?
It's the first on Solis. You know, as you said, Mason, it's about that face guarding. When you're that close, you're not giving yourself any room to make adjustments.
This has been the only area of the game that Tegan Swint has struggled. He has not hit his free throws with regularity, but still 20 points on the night, 3 for 7 now, 4 for 8 from the charity stripe. But continues to lead all scorers, and the lead is back up to double digits. It's 10 at 54-44. That one takes a double bounce to Thompson. Shi, Haynes. And the entry pass is picked off by Swint. And back into the fast break. Swint lost his dribble. And the patient reset by Taylor. Lyons demands the basketball and gets it. As the two freshmen go head to head again, and they're going to call a backcourt. They're going to say Lyons stepped at the midcourt line.
That's fortuitous for Brookline with 4 minutes remaining and a 10-point margin. Brookline needs to start chipping away if they're going to keep this game close.
So we are at the exact midpoint of the final quarter of regulation, and Newton North has added to their lead and now gets the block and the strip steal. Tembasha got the hand on it as Lyons goes behind the back and then gives it up to his senior leader. Shi defending Lyons way out there. Why? I don't get it.
And it's a funny mismatch.
Lyons right by Shi, who then blocks him but gets called for the foul. And there wasn't a lot of contact, but I consider that a penalty for guarding a point guard a mile from the rim as a 7-footer.
The officials aren't judgy. Settle down there, Mason.
I am, though. As Lyons heads to the line, that is the 4th personal on Alan Shi. But you can't take him out at this point. If he picks up the 5th, he does, but you need him in there with 3.5 left and down now 11 with one more free throw to come by a player that has really shown a lot of potential tonight in Jake Lyons.
Brookline has several timeouts left. You may see Shi come in and out on offensive, defensive switches, but I agree, he's going to play the remainder of this game.
Thompson needs this one. Doesn't have it. Long rebound, tracked down by Haynes. He did step on the sideline, but the official couldn't get there quick enough to see it. To be fair, he was pushed onto that sideline, so if anything, those things even out.
That rebound by Shi lands him a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Let's see what he can do from the corner.
Gets it here. Tembasha's done a good job keeping him away from the painted area, though, as we approach 3 minutes to go in an 11-point game. Haynes circles around, tough pass. Solis nearly lost it, but then throws it away. And this is going to be an easy layup for Lyons. 13 points, biggest lead of the game for Newton North. And it feels like they may have this one in check now.
Yeah, Brookline needs to score on several possessions in a row.
They could use a 3, probably by Thompson, but he has been cold tonight. Haynes to the aforementioned Thompson. Haynes again. 3 on the way. Not even close from Golden. Needed that. And with 2.5 left, Newton North does not need to go quickly, but they really just have that one speed. And they don't care about how long it takes. They bury another triple. It's 60-44, and Taylor probably puts this game on ice.
I think that's just about it. It's hard to see 16 points in 2 minutes. Newton's really been productive from that three-point line. They haven't made them all, but they've made enough, and their offense creates those open shots. They find the open man, and he's been knocking it down.
Outstanding ball movement to lead it to Taylor, who has shown a lot of good things as well. Again, he isn't going to be his team's leading scorer. He's not going to be the leading assist man. Probably not even going to be the team's leading rebounder, but he does so many good things as the senior leader in this starting lineup.
We'll see how the last 2 minutes go. He may end up topping the stats in assists.
Well, he certainly has been one of so many players that have come up with big performances. Obviously, we know what Tegan Swint has done, 24 points tonight. Jake Lyons, we've talked a lot about him. Dylan Taylor, we just mentioned him. But how about Nick Spinelli? He was the one that's finished that third quarter with the outstanding breakaway off the press and then started this fourth quarter with the tough layup in transition and then buried a corner three that really put Brookline behind the 8 ball. They were within touching distance entering this fourth quarter, but it was Spinelli's buckets that really made a difference. And how about the job that Tembasha has done on the interior, defending against Alan Shi and keeping him away from the paint.
And you know, it's easy to say it when the team's ahead, but Newton's really played with poise, controlled the ball, not letting it got out of control at any given play. And that's been a little different from Brookline, who in trying to play from behind and trying to keep the pressure up, far more turnovers and fumbles. It's really been a story of the game. Newton's been in control.
They say that Ono was not shooting. I'm a little surprised by that. And that one is tapped back to Haynes, who had not established position in the court. And just as we talk about Brookline turning the basketball over, they do so again with just over 2 minutes to play and a 16-point lead for Newton North. Swint gets bumped by Shi, throws a dime to Tembasha. I was gonna say, he has the Pat Mahomes hairstyle a little bit as it's picked off by Lyons.
And now we're getting a little sloppy, and let's hope these players control things a little bit and nobody gets hurt.
Ono falls away, air balls. We'll call it a pass, but missed layup inside by Horowitz. As that one swung to Swint. Not sure how it got there, but it did. And Swint with another dime, and it's a 20-point lead for Newton North that's putting on a clinic.
Well, I'll tell you, Brookline was within 6 in the fourth quarter, trying to hang around. As the lead starts to slip away and time runs out, you pick up the pace and hope to get a few bounces your way. It rarely happens, and you end up with scores that are a little more lopsided than the game. I think this is one of those times.
Well, the hard part is that they tried to speed up the game by going to the press, and Newton North has destroyed the press.
Yeah, Brookline hasn't figured out how to control that long pass to stretch out the court. The first time they put the press on Newton, you'll remember Brookline and Newton stayed in each other's shorts, played tight. Brookline wasn't able to reset the defense, though, and Newton with a layup at the end. Not on a fast break, just on a breakdown on positioning. Since then, though, it's been even worse for Brookline. When they've shown that press, Newton with a long ball, lots of layups, lots of assists. Hasn't worked out for Brookline.
This game was 31-22 at halftime. Brookline rallied back and took a 36-35 lead. It's 29-8 since that point, which also corresponded with Alan Shi picking up that third foul with 2:52 to go in the third quarter. And Newton North started their run and never looked back. Haynes brings it into the front court. Golden back to Haynes, swung around the perimeter. Viola had it go right through his hands and out of bounds.
And Newton plays more or less a positionless offense. They're playing with 5 wings. Some are a little taller, some are a little thicker, but they're just playing 5-wing basketball.
So after 2 heart-wrenching losses coming after the teacher's strike that really derailed much of Newton North's season, they have found their form tonight and are back in the win column. Now it's just a question of what the final tally will be as we enter the final minute. It's 66-44, now 66-46, as Coach Williams calls a timeout off the layup by Viola.
That's Brookline's first points in a while, and it's a little late to settle down, but better late than never, I suppose.
So Brookline uses the timeout. They'll have one left. 56 seconds. We will wrap things up fairly quickly after this one. There'll be plenty of time separating the men's and the women's games as Swint leading the way with 26 points. Taylor chipping in with 13, along with an outstanding 6 assists to this point. Looks like his day is just about done. Lions 6 rebounds despite being one of, if not the smallest player on his team. On the other side, good performance by Haynes, who didn't start the game but has certainly played starters minutes. 13 points, 3 assists. Mentioned Shi's double-double, 11 and 10. Just wasn't enough on the defensive end to force those turnovers or prevent those three-point shots from fueling Newton North's runs. So benches, for the most part, have emptied. Into the game, Mayan Fogel, number 14, has the basketball here, gives it up to Luke Washik. Washik trying to find his man in the middle. That's Oliver Wardley. But we're going to have a foul called against Newton North. It'll be Brookline basketball with 45.7. We'll have the women's game to follow. Senior day for Brookline Warriors to be celebrated tonight. As Solis draws contact, and after a very quick fourth quarter for the most part, now things have drawn a little bit to a slog in these final couple of minutes as the score got out of reach.
Brookline aggressively trying to chip a few more points in before the end of the game. Solis missing the front end of the one-on-one. The result no longer in question. 34.5 seconds left, a 20-point margin. Solis shooting a second.
So Newton North will get their 9th win of the season, improving to 9-5.
There's that press break.
Pass up top. Reserve trying to get a shot away. He does, gets blocked, gets a second effort, misses it off the front rim. Shot clock is off. Brookline throws a telegraph pass that is an easy pickoff for Washik. They do not need to take a shot, but they will do so as some of those players that don't get a lot of action looking for something. One last three on the way, and it's off the mark. Solis rebounds it. Will go to the tin, pass it off. That will count as Viola gets the last two. And your final score will be 66-49 Newton North.
Bit of a strange ending. Newton up quite a bit. You'd expect them to hold the ball out and run the clock down. But when the young men at the end of the bench see playing time, perhaps for the first time in a month, it's hard to blame them for looking for a bucket.
So the teams meet at midcourt, exchange high fives, and Newton North, the Tigers, coming away with a 17-point victory. It was not convincing the entire time. In fact, Brookline led this game by 1 just past the midway point of the third quarter, but Newton North reestablished themselves and end up with a 17-point victory in a game that they led by 20-plus late. An outstanding day by Tegan Swint, and really everybody in that lineup, from Lyons to Taylor to Tambasha defensively.
You know, Newton really did a nice job of allowing whoever had the hot hand to do what he was doing at the time, but then shifting in with someone else. We saw, right, it started with Swint, but before you knew it, Lyons was picking up points. They just had a nice flow, letting each other step up when they were hot and then not forcing it when they were not.
So 66-49 your score. We will take a break here on ESPN HD. When we come back, Tommy and I will wrap up game 1, get you prepared for game number 2. The women are up next. You're watching ESPN HD in partnership with Big.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Big also offers youth programs. We partner with Arts to Work, a national workforce development plan to mentor high school students through making their own short documentaries.
Where did the time go? Somehow I lost all those years. Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here. Or how did I get here? I can see now.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Go to that.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We welcome you back one final time to Schluntz Gymnasium, one final time for the men's game anyway, as we wrap this one up here from Brookline. Tommy, at the end of the day, Newton North had enough in the tank, whether it was the fast breaks, the press break, or the three-point shots to get it done in the end.
Bottom line is, Newton would get a lead. Brookline might chip away, but Newton kept their foot on the gas the whole game. Brookline never really had it together for more than a few minutes at a time.
Let's take a look at the final stats. First, for the home side, the Brookline Warriors that battled hard but ultimately came up on the short end of the stick. They were led by another strong day by Chris Solis, but he was frustrated for much of the game. Alan Shi also finishing with a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. He was our assist for Brookline. You see Haynes, though, leading all scorers for Brookline with 13. Shi's 10 rebounds to go along with his 11 points, and Haynes also, despite coming off the bench today, finishing with a nice, strong 13 points, 3 assists stat line. And on the other side, for the victorious Newton North Tigers, they were led by Tegan Swintz, 26 points, 13 of which came in the first quarter. Taylor, the senior, supplementing with 13. A good day for the freshman Lions as well, with 6 rebounds to go along with a pair of assists. Taylor leading all players with 6 assists. And Tambasha, the big man inside, who did a good number on Alan Shi, also chipping in with a pair of helpers. Swint, our player of the game today, he was just unanswerable for the most part on the fast break or downtown.
Well, and he started the game off for Newton. Again, dropped the hammer. He had, 11 of the first 15 points for Newton. Set Newton up for success. And then the rest of the game, he'd come in and out as needed, letting other players step up at times, but always available and always part of the offense and the defense. Never really showing off any weakness in this game, except maybe the free throw line.
Well, always something to work on, but we have another game to bring you. So don't go anywhere, but if this is the end of your night with us, we want to thank you so much for tuning in as always on this ASPN HD production in partnership with Big. I want to thank Tommy Vitola, my co-broadcaster. My name is Mason Stout. We will see you next time on this ASPN HD production. Also want to thank Viking Sports, the Brookline Teen Center, and of course the Brookline Interactive Group for all their support for this ASPN HD production. Once again, your final score from Brookline High School in the men's varsity matchup. It's Brookline falling to Newton North by a final tally of 66-49. We'll see you next time.